Size 3 Willow, yeah, starting to see typical laser rot now. I thought it would show up eventually. Oh, it's the CAV side. So you get a nice still frame. So let's see the typical specs of moving around. These are the typical specs of it. Seems to be on a kind of it's hard to say on the scale of 1 to 10. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe a scale of 4 point something. It might get a bit more worse. Let's see. We've all seen the movie, so. Oh yeah, nice still frame without that digital. Digital freeze frame that you get on CLV. You can still hear good sound down here. See if it's got. It's not too bad on the laser rot. It's minimum, but it's there. See if it's got this flicker effect like it does on the power Laserdisc. It seems a little bit more stable-ish. I can see a kind of, because of, you got a moving image there, white text credits. It's not too bad. Let's see what. So it's on that mode. So it's making it a bit bright. Yeah, I can see a little bit of jitter there. I wonder if the camera picks it up. Let's see that again. Actually, the camera's seeing the opposite. Maybe a faint, because the camera's a video processing and everything's light and frequency and such. That's on the analog track. Whoopsie. There we go. Put it on that because it make everything else look, too goddamn bright. It's just like a genetic prefixed brightness control. That's all it is. Yeah. It seems still stable-ish. Now I can see a little kind of. It's not that bad. And this transfer I would say is not bad. This Willow is not too bad on these THX Laserdisc. Better than slight better leap in video sort of transferring on than the power Laserdisc. I wonder if the speed is the same, because I have come across some DVD that was Dances with Wolves, and it was on PAL Region 2, and yet oddly it was at the correct speed frame sound rate sort of thing. So I suppose it is possible to kind of encode it and then it still deliver it as Region 2. But very, very strange, because usually the pitch with say music and such is playing at a slight fast tempo speed, and that's usually the most noticeable. And if you listen hard enough, you might notice it in say dialogue passages. It kind of sounds like it's going a bit fast. And there's another drop out there. I don't know what's going on with the So it's still playing there. It's something to do with the output on the DEQ. That's okay now. Might be some of the settings that I was messing with the other day, and it's in the output settings. Because there's so many things that change, that links and such, and you've got to check this, check that. It might be the signal that's going in. It might be a little bit too high, but according to there, it's not in the red, so it's not clipping. Might be something other. If it's failing or something, then these things are cheap now. They've been around for quite a while. They're cheap, and I've got a second one down there. So, if there's anything I don't know, and it goes wrong, it's all DSP. That's out of my hands. Even still, it's all surface mount components. And they're very tricky things to sort of like desolder and put new components on, because you got to desolder one part with the solder sucker, and then you got to hold the component down in place while you desolder the other side. Otherwise, if you try to, you're going to suck that component up into the solder sucker, depending on what the size of the component is. If it's a tiny resistor, it's going to go up through that solder sucker. So it's a bit fiddly, surface mount circuit board things. I prefer the other technique where it's soldered from underneath the circuit board. And I don't know what's going on with my two characters here. Come on, Magic. Come on out. Come on. Magic got trapped. It's a bear trap. Oi. Come on, just walk through. Oi. Oi, you little rapist. Fucking stop it, Bear. I've got to get him fixed. I've got to get Bear fixed. He's got to be sprayed. Because he's trying sex on Magic. He's in a bit of heat, and calm him down once he's been fixed. He'll calm down. And usually I use the other camera. Let's have a listen now. Much signal noise ratio compared to the power Laserdisc. I think it's a little bit different. It's the analog track light. Oh yeah, I can hear a little bit of laser rot on there. Little kind of like. That's typical. Because if the laser rot gets really bad, it really takes out the analog track, and it just sounds like. And if you could persevere by still watching the movie, just barely, because when it gets like that, the laser rot is really like going across the, and it just gets in the way. It can kind of hiccup the pulse code modulation with kind of like a skipping sort of sound or whatever. But yeah, this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. I think this has held up because this was pressed back in 95, 96, I think. 95, 96. I think 1995. And the Power one came out in 94. So this has held up, you know. This has held up. I don't think it can get any worse. It may, but I wonder how many times I'll watch it or I'll put it on the platter. I wonder how many times. I so much wanted to hear this movie in Dolby Stereo when I first saw it on VHS, pan and scan. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. You know, watching it at home and with a group of students, I think. It was like, I think near the end, it kind of like went to kind of scope or something. I can't remember. But wow, I was just thinking, wow, this music is so cool on the James Horner's music. It's so cool. And I thought, wow, yeah, how did I manage to miss this at the cinema? Maybe it was the marketing, and it just wasn't, marketed that well as, say, like, because the sound mix was just like beat anything on TV at the time. Anything, even if it was TOS Star Trek, it would just beat it. This was, it was just like, wow, got to hear this in, and when I first heard it in, I think first on Laserdisc, or was it Laserdisc, or was it first at UCI at Tower Park with the overhead surround. And it was like, wow, even though the print, by the time it got to reel, reel 3, right toward, all through the rest of the reels, right to the end credits, half of the image was like, it's like someone put, when they were cleaning the film print or checking, they put solvent on the freaking film print and it was all dissolved. It looked all out of focus, and it was just a solvent that got on the freaking film print. Someone must have done it on purpose. A kind of early day George Lucas hater. Come on, that's before freaking George Lucas started messing up freaking Star Wars with THX Laserdisc and remixing the bloody thing, God's sakes, come on. You do get them, the George Lucas haters. That doesn't really matter because they can trace that film. That doesn't really matter because it's water under the fucking bridge, because that film print's fucking probably faded pink by now, whatever vote it is in the UK, probably destroyed. It was decades ago. But it's so cool listening to it on JBL cinema speakers behind the screen. Maybe not like EVs at Tower Park, because they're dual 15 bass drivers, which are a little bit more larger than the cabs behind the screen, and the HF horns also a little bit more larger size. But I've still got good components behind the screen. And the dynamic range is getting very soft now. Well, turn it up, enhances it. Wow, that choir voice. Magical. Magical.